Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Under the Olive Tree. If you haven't watched episode 1, my name's Jem. I am a yarn dyer, knitting pattern designer and owner of undertheolivetreeknits.com, which is a knitting website where you can find hand-dyed yarns, knitting patterns, knitting kits, tutorials, accessories, etc. So do go and check it out. It's undertheolivetreeknits.com. So today I just want to start by saying a great big thank you to everybody who watched episode 1 and to everyone who took the time to leave a comment or give a thumbs up. It really is appreciated. It's always quite scary for me to kind of put myself out there and not know if anyone will watch or if anyone will find what I do kind of even remotely interesting. So it was really nice to read your comments and hear that you enjoyed the first video. Especially the yarn dyeing, people seem to really enjoy seeing the colourways being dyed up. So I do have plans to do some more colourways in future episodes, and a little bit later in this episode I'll show you the yarns that we dyed last week. I'll show you what they look like now they're completely dried and skeined up, so you can see the whole process from start to finish. But before that, I want to share with you a brand new wrap pattern that's been released today. So I've just released the RiverRay wrap, and that was a pattern. It was kind of released last month as part of my Skein and Shawl subscription club box. So I have a club box that goes out every couple of months, which includes a brand new pattern that's exclusive to the box subscribers for 1 month. And it also includes the yarn to make the pattern and some little extras as well. And this box was particularly fun because it kind of fell as I was about to go on holiday to Corfu. So I went shopping in Corfu to get the extras for the box. So actually I'll show you, before I show you the wrap, I'll show you the video of everything that was included in the last Skein and Shawl Club box. So yeah, here's a little video of that. So the next Skein and Shawl Club will open up for subscriptions next week. I'll let you know when it's open and where you can find the link to sign up, and I will also provide some outline information on the pattern, although you won't actually see the final pattern until you receive the box, so it's kind of kept as a surprise. So yeah, that's the Skein and Shawl Club box, and then this was the pattern in the latest one. So this is RiverRay, which is a large 2 skein wrap. So you can see, yeah, it's quite a nice sized project. It uses 2 sock blank fades. So I'll just talk a little bit about the pattern actually. So the name RiverRay, this pattern spent quite a long time without a name, and usually when I'm kind of knitting the sample, I've got something in my head that a kind of holding name, if anything, that I'm going to call the design when it's finally released. But with this one, I just, it wasn't really, a name wasn't coming to me. So as I was working it and as it got longer, these kind of zigzag sections made me think of waves. So I thought, okay, well, it could possibly be something water-based. And then it wasn't until I was blocking it and I had the wrap on the blocking mats. And as I looked, it looked like this stripe going diagonally across the middle. Looked like a ray of sun was hitting it. So that's where the name RiverRay came from. So the idea for this one was to use 2 sock blank gradients, fades. So start off at the darkest point, and then as you knit they gradually get lighter. So this was the first one, and then you join the second one at the lightest point, and then that gradually gets darker towards the end. So if you've never used a sock blank before, I'll show you what they look like. Where are they? Okay, so this is what they look like before you use them. So got the dark blue one here, this is thunder blue, and this is the forest green. So I just undo that, so you can see it's dyed, it's dip dyed to create this gradient that runs all the way through it. So sock blanks, so they're pre-knitted pieces of fabric, and they are a way as a dyer to get a really nice gradient, because it's impossible to get a gradient kind of any other way, because if you try to do it as a skein, if you think of a skein as a big loop, if you dip dyed that as a gradient, you'd get like the darker section at the bottom, and then you get kind of like lighter sections going up each side. So as you knitted it, you just constantly get the different shades coming up in smaller sections, which is lovely. It's a really nice technique to do, but if you want a true grey, a true fade, then yeah, it's sock blanks are the way to do it. So these are literally just dip dyed until you get a nice smooth colour. And then the way that you work from them is, I've still got the ties on this, so I'll just get some scissors. Right, so here is the end of the sock blank, and you'll see here that there's a little strand here. So what you would do is you would cast on using this, and then as you work through the sock blank, it just slowly unravels and it just zips back and forth as you knit it, and that's the way that you get that lovely gradient. So not everybody is a fan from working from sock blanks, because as you can see here, the yarn is, for want of a better word, it's very kinky. So as you knit it, it can result in kind of uneven stitches, but blocking at the end will really help with that. If you look at the sample here, you'll see that actually it's blocked out really quite smoothly. But as you knit it, your knitting might appear quite bumpy and uneven. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about that, as blocking at the end will really help with that. Another thing you can do if you're really not a fan of the noodly yarn is that you can unravel the whole thing and kind of put it on a yarn swift. So if you've got a skein winder, which is one of the things that you can use to make your yarn into a loop, you might use it to convert your yarns of loop into a ball, but you can use that to wind the sock blank into a skein, and then you can put that in some warm water and then kind of hang it to dry with a little weight at the bottom, and that will pull. That will also help to eliminate some of the kinks and give you a smoother yarn to work with. But either way, you'll still get the lovely gradient. So yeah, the reason I use sock blanks is because I really wanted that nice dye effect. If you, really aren't a fan though. Either way, you could also use mini skeins. So you could use a set of 9 or 10 mini skeins and create a fade that way. So I actually have another sample where I did just that. So this is the sample that I made using a set of 9 mini skeins. So I used 4 pink, kind of going into the pink, then there was a cream in the middle, and then that then went into the darker blues. So you can see how it would work with mini skeins. So this was actually the first sample I did, and if I was to do it again, I probably would, when I came to the end of one of the colours, as I was nearing the end, I'd probably join the next colour and then just work a couple of rows kind of alternating the colours, so you get a kind of nicer fade into the gradients there, because in this sample you can see the colours. There's quite a stark change in that, especially that last one where I've joined the darker blue. So ideally, if I was to do it again, I'd probably, once I reached kind of this point here, I'd probably join the darker one and then work a row light, dark, just so it faded in a little bit better. But I think the pinks worked quite well for that. So yeah, this one used 9 mini skeins, but you could use 10 mini skeins. So the mini skeins I used were 20 grams each and 85 meters. The sock blanks themselves, they are they equate to 100 grams and 425 meters. And the blend that I used was the merino and nylon blend. So you get exactly the same amount of yarn in a sock blank as you would in one of my chorus skeins, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So they're exactly the same in terms of yardage. So if you wanted to, you could also use 2 skeins of sock yarn. And the pattern is written as such, so it's really easy to adjust to the amount of yarn that you have. So if you wanted to make a version, say using 8 mini skeins, the pattern is written as such that you can easily work out when you need to start your decreases. Actually, I'll talk about how the pattern is constructed so you can see what I mean. So it's actually knitted on the bias, which means that it's cast on here. So I cast on with 2 stitches and then you kind of work diagonally. So you're working kind of like as a triangle. And for the first section, you're working 2 lots of increases, which is going to give you this triangle shape here. And then when you get to the full width, you then work evenly across the whole of the shawl. And the nice thing about this pattern is that once you've reached the full width and you go to work the full length, it is just an 8-row repeat for the whole length of the shawl. So once you find your stride with it, it's really, really easy to do. Really nice for like tele knitting or even social knitting. And don't be put off by the lace either, because this is just yarn over knit 2 together lace, which is really, really simple to do. There is a tutorial linked in the pattern so you can see how to do the lace, but it is literally yarn over knit 2 together for the lace. And the pattern uses markers as well, so you can easily keep track of where your stitches should be, and it's a great way just to spot if anything looks off track or anything with the markers. So yeah, you just keep working even all the way across until you're kind of coming to the end of your yarn. And then there's instructions in the pattern that tell you how you can calculate how much yarn you'll need for the decrease section. So again, the decrease is worked as a triangle, so you end up decreasing the sides as you work until you're left with just 2 stitches at the end. And then that's what gives you this really nice kind of diagonal fade across the whole wrap. So the pattern is available to download on RiverRay and also the website. So I'll pop all the links below so you can take a look. So the pattern has been tech edited. Big thank you to Julia Target for tech editing. And also a big thank you to my test knitters, Donna, Fabiana, Hazel, Mel, Pat, Sabina and Sharon. Thank you so much for test knitting the wrap. And you can see versions of their lovely projects on RiverRay under the project page. There's also a photo on my blog, which I'll link below, and I'll just share a picture here now too. Finally, kits for the wrap are available, so if you wanted to make one using the sock blanks, you can do. The kits come with the 2 coloured sock blanks, so you get the Thunder Blue and the Forest Green. It also comes with a copy of the pattern, which you can have sent to your RiverRay library. You can have it emailed, or you can have it included as a print and post. So you can get a printed copy of the pattern included in your kit. You will also need a 3.75mm needle, so 80 centimetres is fine. This isn't included in the kit, but it can be added as an optional extra. Most people do tend to have the needle already, so it's not included as standard, but you can choose to add it on, and you can also choose to add a tin of 12 assorted stitch markers as well. So the pattern takes 12 stitch markers in total as you work it. So you can choose to add a little tin of those too. And the kits come in organza bags. You get a nice little label with another stitch marker as well. So they do make really nice gifts. So if you wanted to treat yourself or a knitter in your life, then yeah, why not? So yeah, that's it, the RiverRay wrap released today. I'll pop all the download links below where you can find the pattern. So it'll be on RiverRay, available as an instant download on the website, and also as a kit as well. So yeah, hope you like it. I've just made up a kit here to show you what you get. So you get the 2 gradient yarns, a copy of the pattern, which can be sent digitally or printed and posted, and then they come in this nice organza bag, the label and stitch marker as well. And as you'll see, the wrap also doubles up really nicely as a lovely big scarf, so you can see kind of how the colours all play together. And it's long enough even to loop round again and just make it into a lovely big cozy cowl, which is just perfect for the winter months. So would you like to see how the yarns that we dyed up last week came out? They're now completely dried and skeined up, and they do look a lot different to where we left them on the washing line last week. So I thought it might be interesting to show you how they've ended up, so you can see kind of the whole process from start to finish. So I'll start with Lavender Fields, as that's the one that we started with last week, and that is how it looks now. So you can see it's got these lovely purples, greens, blues running all the way through it, and then these are the speckles that we put on. I've created like these darker patches, and if we unskein it, you can see how it looks. So this is the one that we used the chip and dip tray to dye. So we had the 4 different colours, and then which we laid the yarn on, and then at the end we put speckles all over, and so you can see how that's come out. So yeah, this one is called Lavender Fields. And if you want to see how it looks knitted up, it's actually the colourway that I used for my beginner sock pattern, which is called Let the Yarn Shine. I'll pop a picture here. So that's how it looks if you were to make socks, for example. The yarn base is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, so it is ideal for sock knitting. And the sock pattern that I've just shown you, it's called Let the Yarn Shine, and it's a beginner sock pattern. So if you've never knitted socks before, it takes you through casting on and then working the cuff, the leg, and then working all the shaping for the heel and all the way down to the toe. And there's video tutorials linked throughout as well. So yeah, if you've never made socks before and fancy giving it a go, then I will pop a link to the pattern below. So that's Lavender Fields. The other one that we dyed up, which looks a lot different to where we left it on the washing line last week, is Red Wine by the Fire. So you can see how that's come out now. So it's dried a lot lighter than it was where we left it. But you've still got the overriding burgundy, and then you've also got these lovely flashes of orange and yellow, and then the brighter reds throughout. And then at the end we put some black speckles on the yarn. You can see that that's kind of muted some of the colours and just made the burgundy a bit darker in places as well. And if I unskein it, you can see how those colours all look together. So this one is called Red Wine by the Fire, and again it's on the sock base yarn, so it's the 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So again, would make a lovely pair of socks or one skein shawl, or you could mix it with another colour for a larger project. But yeah, love those colours together. Also did a solid colour last week, which was the Purple Velvet, which is this lovely kind of darker purple colour, and this is on the Blue Face Leicester and Silk Lace yarn. So you can see it's a much thinner yarn, but this yarn base is absolutely gorgeous. It's really lovely to knit with, and you just get this really nice sheen where you can see it there on the skein. You just get this really nice shine from the yarn. So yeah, this is called Purple Velvet. It's just a solid purple colour. It's one of the custom dye colours that I have on the website. So I have a number of colours which you can choose. You can choose the colour and then choose the base for the yarn as well. So if you wanted this on a sock yarn, you could put an order through and choose the sock yarn base. You could have it on sport or double knit or even a chunky yarn. So if you wanted to take a look at the custom dye colours, again I'll pop a link below so you can take a look. But this one is called Purple Velvet. Yeah, beautiful. The other one we did was the very pale pink colour. So it's a very messy skein, sorry about this. But you can see kind of the colour, how the colour came out, and it's just this really lovely blush pink. It has got some tonal colours in there, so it does go lighter and darker, but overall you get this really lovely pale pink colour, which is just gorgeous. And this is on the silk and merino base, so it's 50% silk and 50% merino, so it is super soft. It's really lovely to work with. It feels lovely against the skin as well. It is, honestly, if you could squish that now, it is so lovely and soft. You can see there some of the tonal colours coming through. So this is on the website. This is called Blush. Just the one skein of this, because as you remember we popped that into the end. I had some leftover burgundy colour which we put into the pot and then put the skein into there, so it's just the one blush colour there. And then at the end of the session we had a surprise skein which took on all of the colours that were left over from the dye session, and this has dried a lot differently to what I thought it was going to look like when we left it on the washing line. So this is that surprise skein. Look at that. Really lovely kind of pastel-y colours, but then you still get the flash of orange, you've got the darker pinky red, and then you've also got like hints of blue in there as well, and then like this nice kind of sandy, almost sandy colour yellow. If I open it up you can see more of the colours. So there's more kind of purpley sections in there. So yeah, really surprised by this one. It actually came out a lot nicer than I thought it was going to. And this is on the Sparkle sock base. So this is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% silver stellina, which is the part that gives it this lovely sparkle. So again, would be really nice as a pair of socks or one skein shawl, or actually if you've got a pale pink, those two colours together would look really nice. It's a shame they're not on the same base. But yeah, if you've got a pale pink in your stash, or even like this nice kind of purpley colour, that'd look really nice. Anyway, this one is called Winter Sun. It's on the website, it's under One of a Kind Skeins. Again, I'll pop all the links you need to be able to find it. And again, this is a one-off. As you'll see from the video last week, there's no way that I could recreate this one. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. It's really nice. So yeah, I will be doing some more yarn dyeing in future episodes. So if you do go on the website and take a look at the colours and there's any that you think, oh, I wonder how that one was done, then do let me know, and I can show you in a future episode. So next week is going to be really exciting because, as I mentioned in episode 1, Camilla from Knitting Needle Lane and myself are the organisers for the Cambridge Yarn Festival. So we have been, throughout this year, we've been organising a series of like yarny events. We've done virtual yarn shows, we did a yarn retreat, craft in the park. We've got a London yarn crawl coming up next weekend. But next week, all throughout next week, we've got our next virtual yarn show, and the agenda is just amazing. We have got a whole host of wonderfully talented people coming onto the Cambridge Yarn Festival Instagram account to talk about what they do. So you'll be able to watch live from 7 till 9 o'clock UK time on the Cambridge Yarn Festival Instagram account from Monday to Thursday. So each evening we have an agenda of amazing people coming on to tell us what they do and to show what they make. So we have got yarn shop owners, yarn dyers, project bag makers, textile artists, designers. I'll pop the agenda up now actually, so you can take a look at what's happening on each day. Isn't that an amazing lineup? So if you can't watch live, don't worry, as the videos will be posted to our Instagram account, so you can always go back and watch at your own leisure whenever you get a chance. But yeah, if you can join us, please do. It's going to be so much fun. And then, as I mentioned, to cap next week off, we are going on a London yarn crawl as well. So there's going to be 17 of us descending on London. We're visiting 3 different yarn shops. And yeah, it's just shaping up to be a really fun day. And of course, I will take lots of video for the day as well, so I can kind of take you with me virtually in a future episode, and you can see what we got up to. But yeah, next week should be really good fun. So I will leave it there because I'm aware I have waffled quite a lot today, and just want to say a big thank you again for watching. And what I forgot to mention as well is the RiverRay wrap. If you do fancy grabbing yourself a copy, if you use the code YouTube, you can get 25% off the pattern on RiverRay or on the website. So use the code YouTube and that's 25% off the downloadable pattern. But yeah, other than that, thank you again for watching, and I will see you again next week. Take care. Bye bye.